everybody to the regional championship game here at Nelson University in Phoenix, Arizona. We may have multiple broadcasts, so if you are logged into the one that's hearing us, I'm hoping it's the one that you have. I'll see if I can delete the other one, but Matt, how you doing? You ready for some basketball?
Hey, we get to watch Justice and the Road Blacks for the first time ever, and live and in person. We're excited to call this championship game for all the marbles.
Yep. Not used to being in this facility, but they gave us a nice vantage point, so hopefully you at home are going to have a good time and be able to see all the action. It's going to be noisy in here, which it should be for playoff basketball. So the winner of this conference championship, well, I should say regional championship, Justice University has won the conference championship already, but the winner of this game goes where, Matt?
They go to Point Lookout, Missouri, and that is the NCCAA championship tournament. 8 teams in that, and this is an automatic bid to get to go to the ship.
Both of them went last year. Justice as the regional champions, so they are the defending champions. But Nelson as an invite team, and Nelson ended up taking it all the way and taking home the championship last year.
They did.
So that's just some unfinished business for them.
That's it. Unfinished business. This is a business trip. It's not over. You gotta fight to the end, and hopefully Justice will come out strong. We've talked about this before. They have a knack to maybe start a little slow, then come on strong in the second half. I'd love to see that change here today with a strong showing in the first half. Take it to them early, take their home crowd out of it, and start to establish your brand of basketball from the get-go.
Absolutely. Notable absence for Justice tonight, Monty Irving Jr., who did have an injury a couple games back and has missed the last couple. In his spot, though, we're seeing Bob Harrison Jr., who played a little bit in the last game that you broadcast.
He did, yeah.
And I think he's a freshman or a sophomore. I think he's a sophomore because I had him in my class last year. I'm not sure. But Bob, good to see him here. That's the nice thing about the program that Coach BJ has built is there are quote-unquote farm teams almost. So if someone goes down, he's got other great players to pull from. So good to see him here. Starters tonight for Justice. Moses Damalik, very familiar starting lineup. Moses Damalik, J.D. Walker, Ray King, Marshall Curley, and Devin Miller getting the start. For Nelson, we got Zoe Holman, who was just named the Conference Player of the Year. Orlando Gonzalez, Taryn Ross, Calvin Winley, and Wyatt McKay. So familiar opponents. They just played a couple weeks ago. Justice, wide margin of victory there, but they met earlier in the season, Matt.
They did, and Nelson took that one on a buzzer beater here in this gym. But things are a lot different. Justice has several new players since then, and really just a different look with their lineup, and some of who's in the starting lineup, how they move the ball, things like that. And so I would like to see a repeat of what we saw in our home gym here, and just that blitzkrieg kind of mentality on defense, and really taking it to them on the other end. And so just early and often, active defense turns into offense.
It does. Good to see some of the guys getting some lift here. Ray King with the dunk during warm-ups, and we're just about ready to go. So 45 seconds left. We're going to go mute for just a moment, and then we'll be right back. We're back and ready here with the starting lineups.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Nelson University. Home of our mighty Warriors, where in just a few minutes we'll get underway with tonight's game. But before I get to those starting lineups, could we get everybody to please rise for the play of our national anthem, followed by a quick word of prayer. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's roll with the starting five for the Justice University Lions. Let's start with sophomore. Looks like he's playing forward. We're number 1, Moses Bowman. We got junior guard right number 2, J.P. Walker. We got a sophomore point guard. He's wearing number 3, Ray King. Another sophomore playing small forward, number 11, Marshall Curley. And rounding out the starting five for the visiting Lions in the sophomore guard, number 21, Kevin Miller. All right, guys, you know what to do. We're home for the year. Let's make some noise as we bring out our Warriors. Here's our point guard. You know what it is. We're number 0, Joe Coleman. You got a sophomore guard wearing number 5, Calvin Williams. You got a 6'4", 8'4", wearing number 30, Ryan McKinney. We got senior guard, we call Coach G, wearing number 2, Orlando Gonzalez. And rounding out our starting five is a big fella, the senior. Man in the middle, he wears number 4, Terry Ross.
All right, so we got our starters all set here. The anthem played, the prayer done, and all that's left is to play some basketball now.
Nothing left than to do it. See, a great 40 minutes of action here between these two touted lineups here.
You commented earlier before the game that size-wise, Justice may have a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, their starting center, Winley. No, that's not Winley. I apologize. Their starting center is
Ross.
Darren Ross. Is a sizable fella. but overall the team is not on the taller end. So let's see if Justice can capitalize on some of that. We're ready to get it going. Regional Championship 2026.
He does have a few inches on Demolic, however.
I was about to say maybe not a wingspan yet. So off the tip. Oh, got a quick whistle. Clock did not start.
Get that shot clock going, so.
That wasn't even just the shot clock. The game clock didn't go either.
Nothing started.
They're checking connections here because she was pushing the buttons and nothing was happening. There we go. We're going to take 1 second off the clock.
That was the longest 40 seconds of my life, Jason.
Should be, I believe, 56. 1956. There we go. And 3 seconds off the clock. So somehow 4 seconds off the game clock, 3 seconds off the shot clock.
Hey,
Not sure how that works,
listen, 3.5 seconds. Split the difference.
Off the inbound, here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez finds McKay. McKay, Gonzalez back to Holman. Back to Gonzalez. Back to Holman. Holman, quick sidestep. Lofts one in. No good. Moses Demolic with the early rebound. Up to J.D. Walker's going to take it in quickly. It's going to go off the foot of Ross. That's going to stay Lions ball.
Like to see the board by Demolic there get up high and get quick on the other end. That transition offense is going to be a key to this game.
Moses Demolic over to Ray King. A little 14-footer, no good. Rebounded, Devin Miller fought for it with Calvin Winley, but Winley the victor, and that's going to go to the Warriors.
Got to get a couple buckets, get that feel for it early, get those nerves calmed down.
Gonzalez has it again, kind of running the point. Over to Holman. Back to Gonzalez. Over to Mackey. Gonzalez puts up a three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Ray King fights for that rebound. Locked down, no call. Taps it over to Moses Demolic. And here he comes, J.D. Walker down the middle. Up
I like that. I like that. Beautiful move there. Walker breaks the seal on the scoring here.
Holman not taking much time, but that's over to Gonzalez. Out to Holman. Baseline three put up by Winley, no good. Rebounded by J.D. Walker.
I like this zone defense so far, Jason. It hasn't given any open looks.
Well, you got to beat the zone with the three, and they haven't been able to hit the long ball yet, so let's hope that continues. Ray King off the right-hand side wing. Looking her out to Miller at the top of the key. Miller back to Ray King, swings it over to the left side. Hurley swings back to the top of the key. Over to Walker. Walker to Demolic on the baseline. Goes up and in.
Beautiful
Demolic.
move. Beautiful move from Moses there. Those long legs, just 2 quick steps, and he was at the hoop.
The two Justice guys you would assume would be the scorers tonight start things off. Here comes Gonzalez again. That ball taken away for a moment. He gets it back and he scores. Orlando Gonzalez.
Almost Miller had the steal there, but it fell right back in Gonzalez's hands, and he got the easy 2.
There's Ray King at the top of the key. Calls out a signal to his team. Defended by Winley. Over to Walker. Walker out to Curley, the three-point shooter. No good off the back of the rim. Fight for it. They're saying that went off of Miller. I couldn't see the angle of that, but we'll say it did.
Similar to that last time down the trip, Miller by himself fighting for a rebound with a couple of Nelson Warriors there, and the Warriors get the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Holman over to Gonzalez, puts up another quick three off the back of the rim on that one too. Back to Holman. Holman kicks it out to the left side to McKay. Here's Ross. Trying to back down. Miller pumps it away.
Good D by Miller there.
It does stay here with the Warriors, but good defense. Gonzalez with the inbound. Looking. Out to Ross, way out top. Ross guarded by King. Gonzalez is going to get it here on the wing. Back to Ross down the middle. Looks like he might have traveled, no call. But the Lions, that shot clock should not have stopped. Reset.
They're going to call a steal there from Curley. So they're going to say Curley had possession, and then he had stolen by Winley.
That was a very brief possession, Matt. That's okay.
It was.
So they're clarifying the clock situation here. Gonzalez going to inbound. Over to Holman. Holman out to McKay. Back to Holman to Gonzalez on the right side wing. Holman drives, kicks it back out to McKay. McKay goes down low for Winley. No good off the backboard. Curley with the rebound. Here come the Lions. Devin Miller down the middle. He could take it all the way. Goes up with the left hand. No good. Rebounded by the Mullet. Momentarily picked away by Holman. Coming back the other way.
Nice hands by Miller. Those fast hands. He just hasn't gotten the possession on those yet, but he's slowing down the Warrior attack.
Yeah, you're looking. That's twice now that Devin Miller has poked the ball away. That one, I don't think he had a chance at possession, but he did stop a breakaway, so love to see that. Gonzalez over the Ross. Three-pointer almost by McKay. McKay looking back up top to Holman. Holman back over to Winley. Winley drives the lane. It's up in the air. This is everything, but they're going to call foul. That's going to be called on Devin Miller, his first. So we're going to see Calvin Winley at the line shooting too. Quick start.
I think they called that foul on J.D. Walker, Jason.
Oh, I thought I saw 21.
I saw the two. But really, frenetic start.
Into the game is Chase Pavey for Nelson. So Pavey enters the game. Give it a break to McKay.
You were right, that was on Devin Miller.
That's one of the two free throws. And here's the Lions back on offense. Jamal takes a little push in the back and take it away by Winley. Here comes Holman up there. They're going to get Curley for that foul. Jamal a little loosey-goosey with that basketball on this end and gets it taken away. We're going to see Holman, the conference player of the year, as mentioned earlier, stepping up to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Again, this is the kind of thing I was talking about. Justice looking to find their footing, find their flow. They struggle early to get that flow going. And hopefully they can stay in this game while they're doing that.
A couple of missed free throws certainly helps.
That'll help. Yeah, 1 of 3 from the line for Nelson so far from the charity stripe.
That's the second. Tie ball game at 4 here with 16 to go in the first half. Ray King running the offense. Just past the logo on the left side. Looks down to Dabalik. He's got the post. Drives the lane. Little spin move up in the air. Nothing. No call, no basket, no rim. Out to Holman. Here comes Gonzalez. Gonzalez thinks about driving and passes it off to Winley. He does drive. Up against Dabalik. He goes up and over those long arms of Dabalik. That's hard to do.
He got way up there.
Devin Miller over to Curley. Back up to Ray King, top of the key. Ray behind the back. They're going to call that foul on Winley. He's been poking and prodding since the game began. Good hard defense, but there's a limit to it. Ray King gets the inbound duties.
Like to see an inbound play here to set up Curley.
Well, they got it to Curley. Maybe not a direct setup like you wanted. Jamal, 14 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes Walker. Down the lane.
Yeah, there we go.
Up and in. J.D. Walker.
That's a nice move. Takes it all the way in.
Zach Shively, the fan coming out over here a little bit. You almost left your seat.
Gotta be careful, I'm gonna fall out of it up here on this level.
No look to Holman, blocked by Curley.
Play by Curley.
Here comes Miller down the lane. 1-on-2. Still no call. Not sure where the calls are not coming from here. Gonzalez, little floater in the lane, bounces in and out. That's rebounded by Dabalik. Devin Miller, you don't know if you want him to take the 1-on-2, but man, he got mauled on that last one.
I like the aggression, but didn't get the call and didn't get the finish.
Jamala comes top of the key. Over to J.D. Walker. Between the legs, J.D. to the right. Into the Malik.
Nice move.
Nice give and go play there by Walker and Jamala. 8-6. Justice in the lead.
Malik and J.D. Walker are looking strong on offense. Curley and Miller looking good on defense so far.
Ross puts up a 15-footer. Can't get it off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Ray King. J.D. on the right side. J.D. comes in, stops for his own 15-footer. Again off the back of the rim.
I don't love that decision, Jason. He could have passed that off or taken it to the hoop.
I agree. Holman here drives the hoop, kicks it out to the right-hand side. That's Pavey, misses his three. Rebounded by King. King been strong on the boards thus far.
He already has 3.
J.D. Walker over to King, drives the lane. Yeah, that's going to be something. His arm got hacked something fierce there. And that's going to be the second foul on Calvin Lindley. And we're going to get a timeout. 8-6 is your score, 13.5 left in the first. And we will be right back. Back to the game here. Quick start. The scoring wouldn't tell you that necessarily, Matt, but these teams are hustling back and forth on either end.
High energy from both teams. A lot of drives all the way deep under the basket. They're not afraid to challenge the respective big men underneath. Ross shows that he can be a formidable shot blocker, but J.D. Walker and Jamalik haven't been afraid to test him on that so far.
Ray King to the line here, shooting 2 after the foul prior to the timeout. Gets the first one. Oh, that ball's got some spin on it when he puts that up. So that's 5 points now. Or I'm sorry, what? That's his first point. The other 8 points previously scored by JD and Moses. Puts it up and hits the second. Gives a little glance to the crowd. And we're back here with Holman running the point. Holman to Gonzalez. Gonzalez gets it knocked away by Valdez that just came into the game.
Causey's in there too, Jason.
Here comes King. Yep, Jimmy Causey, the big man underneath to go against Ross. Demetrius Valdez had a heck of a game the last game. The school record, 8 3-pointers made in one game. Causey over to Walker, drives the lane, spin move, goes up, nothing called. Causey gets the ball back. Little bump, no harm, off the backboard, couple rebounds. That one gets knocked, they're saying off of Causey and over to the Warriors.
I like to see Jimmy throwing his way around to Ross underneath there. Ross flew back a good foot on that first power move.
Jermaine Ernest also entered the game for Nelson. Here's Holman driving the lane, going up on Devin Miller off the left side.
Good ball by Miller.
Here comes Valdez. Oh, Valdez thought about it to J.D. Walker. He's over to King. Back to Valdez on the right wing. Thinking about picking up where he left off here with the three-point shooting. J.D. Walker now. On top to Causey. Valdez drives the lane. Kicks it out to King for 3. Bounces around again. Splash down. That's a high dive splash down. Took a little while to get there.
It took a little tour around the rim there, but it fell through. First 3 make for either team.
13-6 your score. Ross over to Gonzalez to Holman to the right side for 3-pointer.
Baby was hiding back there.
Yeah, can't leave Baby there on the side, but it's his first 3. He heard you that. Set a 3. Oh, I can do that. He gets the floater and the foul. No basket, but he does get the foul. That foul is going to be called on Jermaine Ernest, who just entered the game, his first foul.
I like to see him getting to the line early, Jason. Sometimes we don't see Justice getting to the line quite as much. But that means they've been penetrating the lane and trying to get that contact. That's a good sign.
Usually you talk about the late starts. The thing that we see change in the second half, typically twofold. Full court defense and driving the lane a lot more often. So it is good to see him driving the lane early. It's 1 of 2. Gonzalez bringing it up. Over to Pavey. Back to Gonzalez, up to Holman at the top. Into Ross down at the free throw line. Guarded by Miller. Has the size advantage, but
That's a tie-up.
Jimmy Causey steps in, grabs a hold of that, and we had a jump ball.
Beautiful play by Causey. Again, those active hands and leads to a turnover.
With the possession arrow, goes to Justice. If you don't follow college basketball, we don't do jump balls outside of the opening tip. We just follow the possession arrow. Walker now with it, over to Meach on the angle. Thought about it, now he popped about a 10-footer. Gets that one.
Nice.
Demetrius Valdez on the board. Gonzalez brings it up for Nelson. Goes off to the right. Back to Ernest. Ernest drives the lane. Thinks about it. Back to Gonzalez for 3, and he hits that
one. Something interesting on their zone I'm noticing. We have Devin Miller in the middle, down low of that zone. He's not the biggest guy on the court, but he's such an active defender. It's an interesting place to put him. They must be noticing a lot of penetration down low there.
And they also have him playing here on offense against Ross. Meach again, puts that one up, no good. Rebounded by Causey, gets it back to Miller. Miller uses the body, gets the foul. That's going to be a second foul on Ernest. Let's see if that's it. Nope, I'm sorry, they called that one on Ross. Looked to me like it was on Ernest, but first foul on Terran Ross.
You got Devin Miller, who is maybe 6'2", down low against their 5.
Sometimes what that does, though, is it creates problems for the 5, right? They're used to guarding the big guys on the court. They don't quite know what to do with a guy that's 4 or 5 inches shorter than they are.
And fast and crafty, right?
First free throw gets that one. Nizier Brown was going to come in for the shooter. So we've got Damalik, Valdez, King, Miller, Causey. I think on the next opportunity, Nizier Brown will relieve Devin Miller. Gets both of them, goes Devin Miller, and here comes the substitution. Nizier Brown, known for his defense, also for his corner 3.
That's right. He likes that kind of that middle of the way 3. That's his spot.
Here's Gonzalez over to Ernest, drives the baseline. Yeah, that looked like a travel, and it is one.
Too many steps. Can't do that.
You just can't walk like that. Outside, it's nice weather here in Phoenix today. You go for a walk outdoor.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to see Wyatt McKay return for Ernest. So Ernest takes the seat. And right now we have Valdez calling out the play. Ray King sets the screen. Valdez down the middle. Kicks it out to
Causey for 3.
Oh! Used about every part of the board on the rim he could have. And they're going to give us the ball, though. That went off of the defender on the rebound. We're going to take a minute and we'll be right back.
We're back with Devin Miller about to make his way out to the free throw line here. 9:53 to go in the first half. Justice up 18-12 right now. Justice getting to the free throw line in this first half so far. Actually, they're not at the free throw line. That ball was knocked out of bounds. My bad. Inbounded by Demetrius Valdez. Off the foot of Gonzalez, so that'll stay right here. 20 on the timer. Gets it inbounded to Kazi, back to Valdez. Now to the top of the arc. Ray King running the offense. Calling out plays over to Nigel Brown on the corner. Takes up to the top of the key, Kazi. Down low to Demalik. One dribble, kicks it over to Ray King for three. Hits the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Ross. Here come the Warriors the other way. Zoe Holman over to McKay, thank you.
Yep.
He'll pull up from the top of the arc off the rim and rebounded by Kazi. Kazi out to Valdez. Valdez looks to push a little bit. Over to King, who's trailing left all alone for three. In and out, no good, but Kazi fights for the board. Gonzalez will get it instead. Up ahead to Ross. But Valdez strips it from it and knocks it out of bounds. That's going to stay Nelson ball, but good play by Valdez.
J.D. Walker coming back in the game here, going to give Ray King a break.
Ross also taking the seat. Artemis Bradley in for the first time today. He gets the inbound pass over to Zoe Holman. Works that ball around. Pavey out to McKay. McKay driving on Demalik, spinning on Demalik. Demalik falls down to McKay, has himself an easy bucket there. 18-14 Lions.
Demalik not usually one to fall down on a play, but
Demalik takes it in, all the way in, and scores the bucket. Nice play, Moses Demalik. He's got 6. That ball stolen by the Lions the other way. There's Valdez. He's going to take it all the way in himself. He's swatted by Holman, though, and the Warriors going to take it the other way. Here comes McKay. He does not have numbers. He's going to take it anyway, and they're going to call a foul on Moses Demalik. An incensed Moses Demalik does not agree. And that's his first foul. And out of control, McKay gets bailed out on that foul call.
the steal on our end, that was Causey, correct? I wasn't looking up when it happened.
Demalik got the foul call.
No, the previous play, I believe that was Causey stole it. And then
Causey stole it. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
McKay makes the first free throw.
We're moving quick here, man.
We are. Wyatt McKay hits both. And the Warriors down 4. 8:08 on the game clock here in the first half of this regional championship match between these two teams. Nazir Brown for three, splash down! Nazir Brown hits his first from his favorite spot there on the angle.
And at this moment, Nazir Brown shooting 100% from three-point range.
I like that. I'll take that all day. That ball no good on Gonzalez. Rebound to Malik. And the Lions will go the other way. Valdez brings the ball down. Calling out the play. Over to Walker. Walker into Demolic. He turns, he drives all the way in. Oh, the foul! Beautiful take from Moses Demolic.
Man, he had that spin off the glass, that little kiss off the glass. That was beautiful.
Beautiful take. Those long legs, man. He gets in under the hoop so fast. And the Lions with their largest lead of the night. An opportunity here to make it a 10-point lead with Demolic's and one free throw forthcoming. And it is good, and it's a 10-point game for the lead for the Lions. 7:24 to go. Gonzalez bringing the ball down for the Warriors. Passes over to Holman. Holman into Bradley. Bradley, nice take for Bradley.
Looked like a little stutter step for Bradley, but got through with it and made the basket.
Back up big man scores his first attempt from the field. And the Lions take it the other way. Kazi looking for someone to pass to. Passes to Valdez. Valdez driving on Peavy. Back out. Brown, a little fake. Takes it with the left hand off the window. No good. Rebounded by McKay. And here come the Warriors the other way, down 8. Nazir Brown and Valdez both looking since the foul's going to be on Leach Valdez. His first foul. Got his hand caught in the cookie jar there.
I wonder if as a referee how you decide, because they both hit him at the same time.
The one you saw, I suppose. The Warriors have it. Into Bradley at the free throw line. He takes the dribble on Demolic. No good, but McKay's rebound is. And it's down to a 6-point lead. Valdez calling out the play.
Probably looking for a travel on that last one. Sorry, Matt.
Demolic gets it taken by Holman down on the baseline. He throws it ahead to McKay, overthrows him, but he gets it back to Holman. He tries to have a miraculous windmill layup, but it's no good, and the Lions take it the other way. Here comes Valdez. Into Demolic, it's blocked by Holman. Back to Demolic. Blocked by the rim. Back to Demolic, that one's in. Stays with it. Moses Demolic is fired up. Timeout on the court. He wanted a foul call. Didn't get it. He's got to be careful not to get a technical there. 28-20, timeout on the court.
I mean, two rebounds and a basket on that one. We might have had the stat sheet, but we'll be back after the break. Back here at Nelson, getting ready for 6 minutes roughly left on 49. 28-20, Lions in the lead.
Moses Demolic leading the way for the Lions with 8 points. And right now the Warriors are going to bring the ball down with Gonzalez. Back over to Holman. Holman My first time seeing Holman in action, Jason, and he's impressive. There's a shot, 3-pointer long by Gonzalez, rebounded by Valdez. He's got a fast first step and some jumping ability. He's already blocked a couple shots here. But
no, he's definitely he's facilitated the game as well. Hasn't really done a lot on offense to be said right now, but he's making his teammates better, which is another quality of a good player.
Valdez left alone for 3, thought about it. Over to Brown instead, that one's short, and that's going to be rebounded by Bradley. Here come the Warriors the other way. McKay looking to drive it down, off the window, no good. Demolic another board. He's going to run it the other way. Demolic going to take it coast to coast, no good. But rebounded by Brown, takes a dribble and up with it, can't get to go. Kazi tries. His second try is good. Jimmy Kazi. The offensive boards are making a difference in this first half. Back out to a 10-point lead again, 30-20. Bradley, the top of the free throw line. He and McKay were on the same page, and there's a turnover back to the Lions. And another timeout on the field, on the court, and another media timeout.
We're special today, man. Media timeout.
I don't remember calling the timeout as a media member.
Maybe it's producer Jesse. Maybe she did it. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, out of the timeout.
10-point lead.
And the Lions taking the ball out of bounds after that turnover by Nelson, and Ray King walking the ball up the court back over to Marshall Curley. Both of those guys just check back in, as well as Devin Miller, the starting 5, back on the court for the Lions. Over in the corner, Ray King. One dribble, a little left-handed runner, gets it back. Another offensive board. King grabbed the hair of Ross. And that's going to be a foul on Ray King. Trying to grab ball, grab player instead, and that was going to go to Nelson anyway, but that was a foul call.
Ross walking that one off. He controlled his emotions there. He was not too happy about that. I don't think I would be either, although I have no hair to speak of.
I think that was inadvertent, I really do.
Oh, they just called it a flagrant foul line.
I don't agree with that being a flagrant foul. The good news is it's a flagrant 1, not a flagrant 2. So Ray will stay in this game. And you got the big man at the line, which statistically that's your worst free throw shooter. We'll see if that's true here in this case. And he does miss that free throw.
Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. He gets another one, and he'll get the ball back. So
that was King's first foul. So.
And so 1 of 2 for Ross from the line on the flagrant 1. And the Warriors will inbound the ball here. 4:17 to go in our first half. 30-21. Lions on top right now. This ball's been physical. It's been fast. It's been fun to watch so far. Holman out to Gonzalez for 3. No good. Ross the rebound. Anthem contact is called. And he'll get himself to the line for a free throw. Fouled by Casper the Ghost there. They're going to call it on Devin Miller.
I agree with you, Phantom call. Just because an arm swats doesn't mean it makes contact. He did swipe down at that ball, but looked like he got all air.
So Ross gets 2 of 3 basically from that trip down the court from the free throw line and a bucket. So that was a 4-point trip for Taryn Ross.
We have to watch this going forward, though. He's talking to the bench over here.
Apple short, Taryn Ross the rebound. Gonzalez gets his pocket kick by Ray King. Ray King also needs to calm down. And King just got kicked out of this game. That's ridiculous.
Well, he threw the ball to the defender when he got up.
I don't know if the flagrant one counts as a technical, though. He might still be in. It's definitely called a technical. I think BJ needs to get his team back over and calm them down a little bit. You can play with emotion, but you got to play in control.
We got a 6-point lead. It's like you guys are playing from ahead. This is not the time to.
You got to keep your temper. Got to keep your emotions in check. It's early, too. You're on the road, so the fans aren't going to help you with that.
Now we got the fans waving at him from there.
Yeah.
I do think he's gone, though. I think the flagrant one counts as a technical foul. Okay, we're getting some clarification here, much to the surprise of the Nelson coaching staff as well, who thought that they were connected fouls, but they're gonna. So they called a foul that Ray King was the victim of there, and then they called a technical foul on Ray.
They called it on J.D. Walker, which don't correct because it should have been on King. I don't know why, but they called it on Walker. So maybe Walker's what they saw, made the contact. I'm a little confused.
That would make sense, though. That would make sense why they're confused, because they also thought it was on Ray.
Yeah.
And so they're confused because they thought he had a flagrant and a technical, which no. Now it looks like Ray has the flagrant and JD has the technical.
And really, they double technical. They offset, and the foul was on White, so that's why the Lions have the ball, and he instantly turns it over. All right, the Lions, I would call a timeout here just to settle my team personally. The emotions are getting a little wild.
I think one more basket on the Nelson end, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a foul call.
And so Holman's going to throw it in to Gonzalez. Holman slowing things down for the Warriors. Now he's driving on Walker. Kicks it out to number 15. I don't have his name yet. There's the drive by Holman to McKay. Back to Holman, who's going to drive it in. A little runner, no good. Demolic another board. And that was Jermaine Ernest, by the way.
Official scorers have that as his 7th board, but I think they're a couple short. But
Curley in the corner, thinks about it, kicks it out to Miller, to King, to Walker in the corner. No good, but Miller aboard. He gets a strip by Jermaine Ernest, and here comes Holman the other way. All the way in, and good. So Holman, and now there's the timeout, the 32nd. And the Warriors fans are in this one now. They cut it to 4. 3 minutes on the button to go in the first half. 30-26 Lions.
just keep it here, man. I think the challenge, you can't let a good team get momentum. That's what we're starting to see happen. The Lions have a 10-point lead. They get down to 8. Some ruckus on the court. A couple made baskets by Ross. Big rebounds on his end. He gets some energy. And now a fast break basket by Holman. Yeah, you got to calm your team down, and you got to get back on defense. Defense will start the offense back up again.
When you play too emotional, you play out of control, and that's not going to help you in a championship game. You have to keep your head. And also, if you get teed out of this game, you can't help your team. You got to think. You got to be smart. Both King and Walker got to basically, a soccer equivalent, you're playing with a yellow card. You have to keep your head.
And as a side note, Devin Miller's got to keep that ball above his head when he gets that rebound.
He does. He doesn't have the height advantage. He's got to be smart. Demolic now with the ball. Ross guarding him over to J.D. Walker. Drives it all the way down. Gets it swatted. Somehow given to the Nelson Warriors.
I think JD threw that ball out. I would have thought there was a foul there, but JD kicked the ball out. It wasn't swatted, so they didn't call the foul, so they called the out of bounds throw. And Misha's back in the game. He usually brings some calm back.
Uses that veteran presence of his. Holman again kicks it out, this time to McKay. McKay stops, spins, hits. 2-point game. 2:28 to go in the first half. His last 2.5 minutes are going to be key here. Valdez gets it stolen by Jermaine Ernest, and he's going to dunk it. The time is getting, but he gets the technical. Warriors are just as susceptible for those emotions.
Yeah, he hung on that rim is what the officials are saying.
I appreciate the evenness of that call. The Lions have got to slow this down. The momentum that is. Marshall Curley going to shoot the typical free throw.
I think if he would have just dunked it and hung, probably okay. But the fact that he lifted his legs a bit, pulled himself up.
Curley hits both.
I think that's where the showboat was called, yeah.
And that's a big play. It's after a made basket. It basically gave those 2 points right back to the Lions. And you got to capitalize on that new life. You momentarily had a tie ball game, and now it's a 2-point lead again. Here comes Valdez. Valdez to Curley. Curley to King. Getting a little sloppy with the ball here. Valdez. Ernest is a really active defender. You got to be smart. He again almost stole the ball there.
Well, yeah, 2 minutes left, Matt. This is that in between the last three and the first three.
That's it. Curley looking, gets the ball into Demolic. Back up to Valdez. Lions looking out of sorts right now. King takes the dribble handoff. Back to Valdez. Spins. Up and under and the foul! What a move by Beach Valdez!
The Warrior fans in disbelief, but then I saw a couple shoulders shrugs like, well, what are you going to do?
How can you stop that one? That was the momentum stealer we're looking for. And Valdez to the
He
line.
said Valdez comes in and brings some structure back, but also things like that.
Maturity and that high IQ.
All right, so I gave him the
Free
free
throw
throw.
is good.
Yep.
He said subs in. That threw me off for a second.
Something out Ernest, which is an interesting call. He's been one of their best defenders during his run.
You know what they were doing? They were switching him onto the person with the ball on every single play there. That was working. Here's Gonzalez. Over to McKay. King hits the floor, but McKay hits the jump shot instead, and it's a 3-point game. 1:30 to go.
Ross just threw King after the play, and the refs didn't see it.
Marshall Curley up to Demolic. Demolic dribbling on Ross. Driving on Ross. All the way in, off the window. 5-point game. Beautiful take. Moses Demolic sends him into double figures. Zoe pull up at the elbow. Hits that. Zoe Holman makes that. Cuts it back down to 3. This game is moving at such a fast pace. Curley. Back to King. Demolic at the top of the 3-point line. Over to Valdez in the corner. Takes the dribble inside the paint. Short.
We almost wanted to see him
Rebounded
shoot
by
that three.
McKay. 45 seconds to go. That ball was mishandled by the Warriors by Calvin Windley. It's going to go back to the Lions. About an 11-second difference between game and shot clock. Valdez bringing the ball up slowly, driving on Windley. Passes off to King. King waiting for a pick from Curley. Will take a 3. Hit that 3! Splash down, Ray King. 6-point game, 20 seconds.
That's the way you win the battle. You make the shots.
That's it.
You can talk all night long, but if you don't make the shots, it doesn't matter.
Let your shot do the talking. Timeout, Warriors, 12 seconds. shot clock is off. We're going to talk about the last shot of the half here. 6-point game, 40-34. Lions on top of the Warriors.
That's a 30-second timeout, so we'll just stick around here. But it's been back and forth, a little chippy. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little more Ross versus King as the game goes on. Because a couple plays ago, after the rebound was made, Ross kind of grabbed King and threw him backwards, and Greg didn't see it. But man, those guys don't seem to like each other right now on the court.
Well, and your most physical player to counter that is Jimmy Causey, and that's who I would like to see Causey get into Ross's head a little bit, challenge that physicality, and not let him throw his players around, basically.
Yeah, right now he's playing against either Demolic or Devin Miller.
Two much smaller defenders or offensive players. Demolic's got that wingspan, but he's not super thick. And Devin's a good defender, but he's smaller. So 12 seconds to go with the half. Warriors drawing up a play for the end of this half, looking to get a good look here at a buzzer beater. Zoe Holman moving the ball around the perimeter. Everyone's out. At 3-point land, Mackey's going to take it, and he's going to miss it, and it's going to be rebounded by Causey. And that's going to end the first half of action. A frenetic pace in this one.
Definitely not the end of the ending shot the coaching staff from Nelson wanted. But we're going to go into halftime here at 40-34. In favor of the Lions, it's good to have a halftime lead here. But hopefully Coach BJ, I'm sure he has some observations that he's made. And
you got Letcher halftime magic. That's what we're looking for.
So we'll take a break for most of it, and then we'll be back here shortly. All right, coming to the end of halftime here at Nelson University, North Central Phoenix, if you don't know where that's at. Crowd is here, packed the gym tonight. Both sides of Justice has shown real well from across town as well. Just a little mini student section behind the bench over here, but we're at a high-paced, high-energy first half. Again, the score may not show, I guess it's a higher scoring first half, but we saw a lot of action from both sides, both on the court and some extracurricular.
Which is something, you know, with it all on the line, you've got both teams are emotionally invested in this game, and so you would expect nothing less than them to be extra aggressive emotionally too. And yeah, so we've seen technicals, we've seen a flagrant one, and we've seen some good basketball. 40-34. Again, the Justice has been paced by Moses Tamales. 13 points, only 2 players in double digits in this game, one from the Lions and one from the Warriors. And so that's, as I said, Moses Tamalik for the Lions, and then on the other end, Wyatt Mackey. Perhaps not the player you thought would be in double digits for the Warriors, but he has scored 10 points in this game. Scoring balanced other than that across the board.
Yeah, Ray King on the verge of double digits. Got hit at some updated stats, but I think we're still current with everything we've got. So
just some different fouls were attributed to the wrong player, and that's about all they changed on that. But yeah, so
okay, I see that. I would also say Demolic with 7 boards. We still think he's a couple short, but 13, 7, and a couple of assists as well. So great first half for Moses Demolic.
So the one, 2 steals, Ray King, that's not surprising. The other would surprise you. It was by Jimmy Causey. 1 block, that would surprise you. It was by Marshall Curley.
That's true.
So very interesting.
Everybody doing whatever it takes to win the game, basically, at this point. We've got about 45 seconds till the second half. The other notable differences here, Lions shooting 33% from behind the arc to just 18% for Nelson. And the free throws are big as well. The Lions 9 of 10 for 90%. The Warriors 6 out of 9, 67%. So, those might seem like little things, but at the end of a tight game, those are the little things that can matter. So,
and then 90% is good, and I like the 10 attempts as well. That means they're getting to the line, and they're getting opportunities to score those free throws, and those free throws add up.
We'll see if we see some full court press by Coach Letcher in the second half, and we'll see if we see even more driving the hoop. Tends to be what we've been seeing this season from the Lions.
Now, I thought the Warriors won that opening tip. Was I
We did,
wrong?
but we had the jump ball, so we took it there.
I see.
Now back to the Warriors to start the second half. Same starting 5 for each team. So Holman bringing it up for the Warriors. Over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez guarded by Miller. Over to McKay. McKay guarded by Curley there on the baseline. Out to Winley, drives the hoop against J.D. Walker. Walker gets his hand on the ball. Winley turns it up with the left hand and scores.
It's a good take by Winley. Walker playing some solid defense there, but Winley was bigger in that possession.
Walker up to King. King over to Devin Miller on the right side wing. Lions moving all over the court. Demolic now with it down the lane. Gets a little shove in the back from Ross. King, stutter step, guarded by Gonzalez. Uses the body up and in.
Ray King, beautiful take. Nice spin and finish.
Good physical play there by Ray King. Warriors bringing it right back up again. Here's McKay. Turns, stops, thinks about it, puts up a little hook shot there. An unconventional shot, but somehow puts it in. He's still got a 4-point game.
Ray King's in the double figures with 11 now. Ryan McKay, surprisingly, with his ability to drive to the basket and make those shots.
King takes the screen from Demolic. Over to Curley. Down to Demolic.
He's pushing him in the back over and over again.
Quick hands by Holman, gets the steal. Here comes McKay. Uses the left to push off. But he puts that up and in. McKay is the rock star here for them in the second half. King, a little stutter step up. Misses the shot, can't get it. Early with the board, shoots the three.
Yes.
Touchdown! Marshall Early. They needed that too because the momentum was drifting.
They needed that bad.
Holman to Gonzalez. Gonzalez on the left side wing. Guarded by Miller. Gonzalez drives, steps back, behind the back. Takes it down the lane, puts it up at the right. Draws the foul from Miller. I'm assuming that's Miller. Yep, that's Miller, and that's going to be his, what do we have? His third foul. So Gonzalez to the line shooting 2. Didn't get the basket. Ray King having a little conversation with the official, trying to understand what that was. And as they say again, ball don't lie. Miller and King did not think that was a foul, but they have been consistent, though. They've been calling out fouls on both ends.
Right.
It does get 1 of 2. Quickly up to King on the left side. To Demolic up top. Demolic crosses over, back to Curley, guarded by Gonzalez. Ray King, guarded by Holman. J.D. Walker drives the lane, goes up at the left. Not going to get there. Nice. Miller with the flying board. Puts it back up and in. Devin Miller.
Devin Miller sticking with the play, following it up. Puts the putback.
Holman to Gonzalez. Gonzalez guarded by J.D. Walker. Here's Ross on the smaller Devin Miller. Smaller doesn't always mean weaker. And Miller goes up, and unfortunately, that basket from Whitley's going to go.
It's a good pass by Ross there.
King up top, thinks about it. Over to Curley, swinging around to the left, looking for a screen. Kind of bumps into Ray King on his own there. King behind the back, drives the lane, steps back. Over to Curley for 3. Nope, off the back of the rim on that one, rebounded by Winley. And here come the Warriors. Winley drives against 2 defenders, somehow gets that ball back. Holman now guarded by King. Over to Ross for 3. Whoa, puts that in.
That was surprising.
Ross has something to say to Marshall Curley.
He hits that open corner 3. It's a 1-point game.
Demolic now guarded by Ross. Falls down on Demolic. Oh, Demolic doesn't get that one. I'm not sure what happened there with Ross, but here comes Holman looking to take the lead. Their first lead since very early on. There's a 3 off the front of the rim, no good. But off of Walker's knee, but then back from McKay. Devin Miller drives a lane, takes him out of his shoes.
Oh, man.
Gonzalez literally comes out of his shoes, and the basket is made.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
I think they stopped playing just to put the shoe back on, perhaps.
Okay. But BJ's getting a little mini timeout out of this. Oh, BJ was calling a 30-second timeout.
Yes. So we had a 30-second timeout called by BJ, but they're going to turn that into a full media timeout, and we'll take it and be back here in just a moment. We're back here. Sorry to do that to your ears. We come back right as that buzzer goes off. That was Miller on the make before. Gonzalez just came out of his shoes. We originally thought it was just a break to put the shoe back on, but it turned into a timeout and then a full media timeout. And here we go. Gonzalez brings it up for the Warriors. Over to Holman. Holman guarded by Valdez, who just came in. Ross now has it against Damalik. Little spin move, hook. Puts it in with the left. Ray King now has the ball on the right side over to reach Valdez. Curley with it on the left side wing.
I'm going to nominate Curley for shoes of the game. I like him.
Ball back to King. King drives the lane.
His foot.
Off of his own foot.
He's got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shoes on there.
Yeah, I've been looking around, but he does have some strong. Ray King again with the greens, though. They're always strong as well.
He's won him the pass for sure.
As Ross loses control of the ball, grabs Damalik, no call there. Damalik coming in. Ray King up and off the glass, no good. Damalik with it, goes back up. No basket, but that time there is a foul. Damalik going to go to the line.
A lot of contact on both ends not being called and consistent, but
They're calling that one on Holman, which will be his first foul of the game.
which Holman has filled up every other stat possibility. He's been all over the court with steals and blocks, but first foul.
Windley came out for a moment in favor of Ernest, but they're swapping spots again.
Tucking in the shirts. Everyone but Ross, apparently. He doesn't have to.
Some officials make it a prerogative, others don't.
He does.
But he literally is standing next to the official that
Yeah.
made the call.
Yeah. We'll make the free throw shooter tuck in his shirt.
Oh,
but
he's got the front of it tucked in, so that's why maybe the official's not seeing
the
it.
French front tuck. It's in style on the basketball court.
Not sure why we're taking 60 seconds between free throws, but Jamala gets them both. 3-point lead for the Lions. And very close to losing that lead a few minutes ago. There's Gonzalez, guarded by Valdez. Gonzalez drives the lane on Valdez. Valdez, though,
It's good hands.
not sure how that wasn't either a travel or a jump ball, but it was. There's the three from Gonzalez. Off the back of the rim, no good. That one knocked out by Ross. Lions ball.
Goodness. You get a lot of timeouts, Jason.
Apparently, maybe they didn't call the media timeout when they called. Coach BJ called a 30-second timeout. Now we're getting the media timeout. So we'll take it and be back in just a minute. Back here at Nelson University at the end of the timeout. I gotta fix my microphone for my buddy Matt here so you can hear what I'm saying. I know some people like to hear what I'm saying. Uh-oh, now we're losing video. That's not good. There we go. We got it back. Apologies, folks. Not sure what happened there. And here we go. Demetrius Valdez. Oh, I thought that was thinking a little bit of three for a second, man.
He got indecisive.
Ross can make the three we just saw. We're going to call a foul on Moses Damalik. That's his second foul. Damalik pleading his case, saying he actually had the ball in his hand when he came down.
I thought it may have hit the baseline too, but he's kind of over his back.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Causey back yet, but as Gonzalez steps to the side for a three. And that one does go. We got a timeout in.
Gonzalez is due. He hit that one.
14 and a half to go.
I'd like to see an answer three from Curley here.
Valdez, here's Curley. Saves it to Great King. King going to be fouled. Gonzalez attempted the flop, but he's not going to get it. And he's going to be called for the foul.
Fans didn't like that one, but I think that was the right call. He wasn't set. That's his fourth foul, Jason.
That is, and he's been hitting a couple threes here lately. He's got 9 points right now, so he's a big loss to go to the bench.
Jermaine Ernest, who also has 3 fouls. Jermaine Ernest, who has 3 fouls himself, is checking back in to replace him. Curley needs to throw it in.
Once again, Ross was underneath holding Damalik. Damalik is frustrated with the official not calling that. Here comes Beach Valdez. Steps back. Not going to go. Walker up for the...
It's going to stay Lions ball.
Lots of... I don't know if there's something slippery under there, but there's been 2 or 3 players that have just hit the deck on that end of the court. Valdez over to Damalik, who's got Ross on him. Gonna turn.
There you go again, same spot.
Valdez with 13 on the shot clock. Over to Great King. Great King gonna get it. It's Damalik, 7 seconds. Puts up the 3 and gets it for Moses Damalik.
Damalik, I told you, he takes those threes occasionally, and he usually hits them.
Ross on a smile on his face there, so we'll see what happens coming down here. But first, Winley takes it in, up at the left, not going to go around the rim. A little battle for it. They're going to say Curley knocked that ball out, so it's going to stay Warriors ball.
I think that was the right call based on the body language of both players there. Winley throws it back in.
Here comes Holman. Ernest back to Holman on the wing. Guarded by Damalik. Now picked up by Valdez. Winley thought about a 3. Now driving the lane against Damalik and Walker. He knew one of them was going to get called. Calling it on J.D. Walker, and Damalik was actually telling J.D. he didn't need the help. I had him. But that's going to be number 3 on J.D. Walker, and we're going to see Winley at the line. Winley 1 of 2 right now from the line for the game. 7 points, 3 boards. It's the first. 54-52, 13 minutes left in the game. For all the marbles, as they will say. Devin Miller and Isaiah Brown checking in for Walker and Curley. Valdez might have the shoe game going because he's wearing two different shoes.
Yeah, his are very colorful.
It's a battle for the rebound, and unfortunately, they battled each other, and it's going to go out and stay with the Warriors.
That's a frustrating play, but Warriors have the ball back. Chance to tie it up and take the lead. Nice hands by Damalik.
And they control. Good steal by Damalik. Good awareness by Meach to be there. Out to Nizier Brown from the baseline 3. Splashdown! Nizier Brown.
Beautiful play there. He got open in the corner and he buried it. Back to a 5-point game.
You love to see the smiles out there. Oh, he jumped himself out of bounds, but they're going to bail him out with a foul on Devin Miller, and that's going to be 4 on Devin. He's probably going to have to come out of the game here for a minute. Yep. Here comes Jimmy Causey. Non-shooting foul, so Causey coming in for Devin Miller. I would assume Causey's going to take the defensive assignment on Ross, which he looks like he does.
He's going to guard the ball, at least initially. That's a mismatch. I don't like that. Okay, that's better. Still in his zone here.
Coleman up top with Meach Valdez. Drives against Demolic. Up, off the rim. Ray King takes a push in the back, and that's going to be a foul.
McKay.
On McKay.
That's only his first.
Meachers Valdez. You love those moments he's trying to get the play, and he literally looks at his coach. Oh, man. Picked up by Ernest, and another thundering dunk from Jermaine Ernest.
You got to pay attention to who is on you. That is the guy who keeps stealing it from you.
They'll probably upgrade that one, I would assume.
Well, he ran into him full speed.
Well, and the elbows came out, though. He shoved him back.
He did.
Here's what the officials saw. Causey took exception to Ernest slapping the floor. Got the crowd into it after that. Play on the other end. Lions bench. Offsetting double flagrant fouls looks like to be the call. Looks like they're calling it offsetting. They're saying that both Ernest and yep, they're saying.
Is that a personal foul too? So that's 4.
Okay, so let's try and get this back in order for y'all. Double flagrant 1 fouls on Ernest and Causey. Both were caught throwing elbows. And a flagrant 1 does count as a personal foul as well. So Ernest has now 4 fouls. Causey, that's his first.
I will absolutely take that exchange, Jason.
And you know what? I'm not a fan of anybody hitting anybody or anybody getting hurt.
No, of course not.
But it also does send a message. There's in hockey, they have the enforcers, right? So this isn't hockey, so you shouldn't have to have an enforcer. But, Ernest got the better of one of the, who's he on over here when he scored that last one? But
Valdez.
Yeah,
He picked his pocket like 4 times in this game.
Picked his pocket, went down an emphatic dunk, and Causey came to the defense of his teammate, and not a good decision, but he also got called for it. He's going to get the consequence. So
we've got some foul problems. Some of the best defenders in this game. Miller has got 4. Jermaine Ernest has 4, and so does Gonzalez. So that's foul trouble is going to be a factor down the stretch here.
And J.D. Walker with 3 as well. So still a lot of time. 12-10 in the game. 3-point lead for the Lions. 57-54. And the good news here also is the ball's going to stay here with the Lions. So we got Demolic, Valdez, Causey, King, and Brown. The 5 on the floor. They're going to get Holman for the reach around on Demolic. Demolic has a little bit of satisfaction because he feels like he's been getting pushed around a lot down there.
You got to keep your head though. No one needs to be kicked out of this game, so
for sure.
That's not going to help your team.
Valdez with the inbound. Looks for Demolic, gets it out to the right side wing to Brown, into Causey. Causey tries to go under to Demolic. The pass is kind of low. Demolic couldn't get there, and turnover Lions.
It's a little bit of an ill-advised pass all the way around, and that's a turnover. 3-point game still.
Whitley bringing it up for the Warriors. Pick there from Ross. Coleman inside to Ross, now facing Causey. Had to go up with the fadeaway hook. He has not faced a body his size tonight. So.
That's right. I like that defense right there by Causey.
Valdez, guarded by Pavey.
Calling for a pick.
Over to Demolic, still guarded by Ross. That means you got a mismatch. You got Causey down underneath on Holman, and that's going to be he slid his foot. Traveling on Demolic, that's a turnover. You wish they would have seen the Causey-Holman matchup there.
Yeah.
J.D. Walker going to come back in the game with those 3 fouls
Holman has not
for Demolic.
been afraid to rise up high and block shots, though, so perhaps he can hold his own. Moses Demolic means a breather. 18 points pacing the scoring attack for the Lions.
Holman brings it up. Guarded by Valdez. Kicks it over to McKay. McKay drives the lane. Causey, no good. There's a push from Ross, no call. 57-56, 1-point game here in the second half.
It's a good block by Causey, but still scored.
Ray King with a pretty floater in the lane and ends it back.
I like that. Take it right back up.
Surprised, like you said, we're not seeing any of that full court D. Back to Holman, there's the 3 from the baseline, and in and out. Roscoe, nobody boxing out there. Gets the easy putback. 10.5 left here in the second half. J.D. Walker over to Causey at the top of the key. Causey picks it up, he's driving the lane, sees the mismatch.
It's a little bit wild and out of control.
I think he was looking more for the foul than the basket there and didn't get it. Here comes McKay down the lane, gets the ball almost stripped by King instead.
Pretty fadeaway.
And we got a Warriors lead, 60-59. First time since very early in the game. Valdez. Walker now takes the screen from Causey. Causey to Nazir Brown. Valdez drives the lane, steps back, gets it blocked by McKay, who gets the ball back and puts it back in. 3-point game. He's Valdez trying to calm his team down. The momentum very much on the side of the Warriors. Ray King steps back, puts it up. Yeah! The foul and the basket. That's what you need if you're the Lions right now. Ray King. And that foul is going to be called.
Calvin Windley,
number 5. That's going to be his 3rd foul. We got a timeout, and we're going to take it. All right, we're back here for 9 minutes remaining. We're going to have a free throw here from Ray King. And we've got a Willie Frager sighting for the first time tonight.
Willie in the game for the first time.
Looks like he took JD's in there. Ray King is at the line, so who did he replace?
Kazi.
Jimmy Causey, thank you.
Hopefully Ray is looking to finish this three-point trip here and even the score at 62. 9:07 to go, 1-point game. And we are even at 62. Here we come down the stretch. A little bit of a full court press here. Coleman driving all the way down, spins back, kicks out to Ross, kicks it around to Pavey, over to McKay. McKay driving all the way up, blocked by Demolic. Frager gets it, and we got a tie up. It should be Lions ball.
Quickly into the action is Willie Frager Jr.
No kidding, he's thrown right into the fray, isn't he?
He might have the other half of Valdez's shoes.
He might, or he's got two different colors of his own. Either way, here comes Ray King. Over to Walker. Walker driving on McKay. He loses the ball. McKay to steal. The ball's going to loose around the perimeter. McKay driving all the way in. Waiting for him is King, but he's in the circle. He's in the restricted circle. And that's a three-point play opportunity for Ryan McKay. Out of control the entire length of the court. But King was in the circle, and that's going to be a foul call on him.
Yeah, Ray comes over, gets that clarification from the official, nods his head. Definitely wants that back. The unfortunate part, Matt, is he had a lot of time to figure out where he was on the court, and he still...
That play was very slow developing because it was kind of awkward all the way around. But McKay, game-high 21 points. Pacing the Nelson Warriors, and it's a three-point Nelson lead. Demolic with Windley on him. Passes back off to Ray King. Ray King with two defenders on him over the corner. J.D. Walker driving the baseline. Has the ball knocked out of his hand by Holman. It's going to stay Lions ball.
And what does that mean, Matt, when there's two defenders on somebody?
Somebody's open.
Sometimes hard to find out when you got two guys standing over you, but
It can be. Several large humans. J.D. Walker gets the inbound pass over to Moses Demolic, driving on Ross, all the way in, up and down. Moses Demolic.
he's got a 20 spot.
Lions down one, 7:55 to go.
Definitely done the Demolic and Ray King show tonight.
It's been the Wyatt McKay show on the other side. Calvin Windley with the ball at the top of the arc, driving on Willie Frager, spinning on Willie Frager, off the front of the iron, gets his own rebound. Goes back up with it and gets it to go. Good defense, but better offense. Needing those defensive rebounds. 7:24 to go. Ray King coming back with it. Nazir Brown saves a fan in the front row from getting a ball in his face. He's going to pass off to Ray King. At the free throw line, buries that one. 1-point game.
He heard me, Matt. He said it all. It's my show. We all do that.
18 points for King. So Holman driving on King. Over to Ross at the elbow. Blocked!
J.D. Walker.
Beautiful block on Pavey. Here comes the ball into Walker. Knocked away, stolen. It's going to be a dunk for Ryan McKay on the other side. Unfortunate bounce of the ball there. And it's a 3-point game.
That's probably not the pass you want to make if you're Moses Demolic there. Went low on Walker.
King spinning, right hand, good. 20 for King.
We can't get our extra words in because the game's moving so fast.
So fast. 6:18 to go. 1-point game again. Feels like we're going back and forth down the court. Trading baskets. Here comes Windley. Demolic on him. He's up with it. And the foul!
Demolic looked like he had his hands straight up in the air, but... And that's going to be 3 on Moses Demolic. Devin Miller back in the game, as well as Jermaine Ernest, who has those 4 fouls. Both of them coming into play with 4.
Gotta pay attention to Ernest.
Malik stepping out of the game. He's helping with scoring, but I think BJ, usually when you see Coach BJ pull somebody from a game, he's got something specific he wants to talk about.
Right.
We'll probably see Moses back in.
Oh,
Over the back. by
McKay. Shocking. That must be a new foul call according to McKay, but nope, that's one of the oldest fouls in the entire game. Only his second foul, though. He's not in any foul trouble, but not sure what's going on here. I think we got a technical call.
No, I don't think. I think we have a
In the
penalty.
bonus situation. So Frager's going to go to the line, shoot 1-and-1 here.
Yes, the offensive fouls don't count for that, but a loose ball foul does. So.
And he was boxing out. That's what they teach you growing up. Box out, and good things happen.
Especially if you're the smaller guy, you're very likely to have the big guy over the top of your back.
Willie Frager to the line for the first time today. And he hits that first free throw.
High-fiving nobody there for a second, but his teammates finally came.
And again, 2-point game, 71-69. Warriors on top right now. 6:07 to go.
I think Coach Letcher's going to need a nap after this game.
I need a nap. 70-71. 1-point ball game once again. Now, I was starting to say with Jermaine Ernest, when the Lions bring the ball up again, you've got to pay attention to his active hands there on defense. Don't get lackadaisical. Here comes Calvin Winley, driving on Ray King. He's going to take it all the way down and score it. Winley's been doing that a lot. You got to stop the ball.
Might need to see a switch on D there. But yeah, he's having his way with, let's see, was he with Frager or King?
I think he's on King that time. Nice here, Brown out to J.D. Walker. J.D. Walker to King. King thinking about it. Jab step, dribbling on Zoe Holman. Spin, kick over to J.D. Walker. Up with it and down with it. Score the basket. 1-point game again.
Haven't seen a lot of scoring out of JD yet, but when we need it, that's when he shows up.
J.D. Walker only 6 points, I believe.
Yep. Neither team in this half.
And there you go. You got Miller on Winley, but don't get fouled. Steals the ball. Jonathan Miller the other way. Pulls it back now. Looking for Ray King.
That's gutsy defensive play.
It is
man.
with 4 fouls. 5 minutes to go. Ray King, top of the arc, no good. Rebound Winley. Here come the Warriors. Zoe Holman going to slow it up a little bit. Frager on him. J.D. Walker now on Winley. Holman going to take it all the way down and miss everything, and that's going to be Lions ball. Media timeout. We got a 1-point game. Warriors on top, 73-72, 4:41 to go. We'll take a quick break. Ray King with 20, Demolic with 20 for the Lions. On the other end, McKay with 23, Windley with 14, Ross with 13. Those have been your main scorers of this contest. And
both teams continue to shoot about the same from the field, but the difference makers again, Justice staying in it with 46% 3-point shooting for the game and 93% from the line. So let's just hope they get those opportunities more and more the last few minutes.
Ernest on King here. King's got to be smart with the ball. Ernest likes to steal with those active hands on defense. Nice Brown driving up the middle, taking it all the way down and in. Nice Brown.
Showing 8 for Nizier.
Showing some a fast first step there, and that's what his team needed. Holman back the other way for the Warriors.
Lions up 1.
Holman back to Ross for 3 at the top of the key. Strong, rebound down, loose. Miller comes away with it. Here comes Miller. Looking to runs Ray King. No foul, but Miller's there. No rebound, Jermaine. Ernest the rebound. Somehow no penalty there, and now Ross is all alone, gonna lay it up and in.
Not sure what they didn't see on the other end. That's certainly frustrating if you're Ray King.
1 point lead still for the Warriors. King dribbles back out over to J.D. Walker for 3. In and out. Ross the rebound. Here come the Warriors the other way.
Probably, I love JD, man, but probably not the guy you want shooting the 3 at this moment of the game. He had an opportunity to drive the hoop there. I wish you would have seen that.
3:16 to go. Ross at the top of the free throw line arc. Frager on him. Driving on Frager. Spinning on Frager. Hitting over Frager. For in Terran Ross. All the way, J.D. Walker coming down. Gonna kick it out to King. Back to Walker in the corner. Saying he stepped on the out of bounds line. I can't even see the out of bounds line.
Marshall Curley coming back in for Nizier Brown. And Orlando Gonzalez with his 4 fouls back in the game. Replacing Jermaine Ernest.
So we have 3 guys. 4 for 4 there. I was going to say we're about to have 3 guys with 4 fouls on the field, but only 2 of them. Here's Zoe Holman. 3-point game, Warrior lead in the ball. Here's Gonzalez over to Windley, back to Gonzalez. 12 on the timer. Gonzalez over to Holman. Kicks out to Ross for 3 in the corner. Short, rebounded to Malik. And the Lions coming back with it the other way. Damalik to King. King.
They don't need to run here, Matt. Plenty of time.
Pulls it back out like he heard you. King. Driving on McKay. Spinning. Kicks out to Walker. Walker driving on Holman. Spinning. Up with it. And in. J.D. Walker.
8 for Walker in a 1-point game. 2 minutes remaining.
Feels like this has been a 3 or a 1-point game the entire game. Gonzalez, Tamala gets faked out of his shoes and lost the rebound. Offensive board, Windley. Nice pass by Ross.
Yeah, Tamala thought there was something on the floor that made him slip, but minute and a half left, Matt.
Walker driving, passes to Demolic, lays it in. That's what you need there. Quick answer back from the Lions, still a 1-point game. Gonzalez dribbling it up, 1:16 to go. This is coming down to the wire. Gonzalez with King on him. Demolic switches off. McKay, Curley on him. Over to Holman, 12 on the timer. Holman driving on Ray King. Gets it all the way to King, spots it, and steals it. He's double teamed. And he gets it away to J.D. Walker. Nice play. Other way, Walker gets it stolen, but kicks it back to Curley. Curley back out to Walker, around to King. King down to Demolic. Demolic spinning. Up with it with the right hand, and the Lions take the lead again with 41 seconds to go. Moses Demolic with 22.
what a great play by Ray King down here to get the ball back.
Give him 24. Great play by Ray King. And Devin Miller on Zoe Holman looking for a timeout. And that's what they're going to get. 80-79, 32.8 to go in the game. Warriors ball, timeout on the floor. Coming down to the wire here in the gym at Nelson.
And it's a full timeout, so we'll go ahead and take a break for a moment.
We'll be right back with
We're
this
gonna drink
final
the water. We
32.
got to get some voices for this last 30 seconds, Matt.
That's true.
We're back, Matt. I don't know if we have any better voice than we had before. Mine's almost gone.
My heart rate is not in a healthy place, Jason.
That's right. We just tried to give you a break for a second.
I know. These teams in this gym, they come down to the wire. It's what they do.
I don't think what people might not know about if they're West our broadcast is how much we truly care about these guys too. Like, as their professors and as getting to know them over the years, like, you want this win for them.
You want it for them. 22 on the timer, 10-second differential, game to shot clock. Gonzalez takes the ball. Gonzalez changing his direction once again to McKay. 24 seconds in this game. Passes off to Holman. Holman starts to drive on Walker. Holman up in the air. 17.9. Warriors got a 1 point game. Lions going to take the last shot. 12 seconds to go. Devin Miller passes off to Ray King.
6, 5.
Ball's up in the air. It's loose. J.D. Walker comes down with it. He's got to look. The game winner. It goes halfway down and out. Absolute heartbreaker for the Lions.
This looked like game one. I gotta pick up my co-host here. He's about ready to fall over himself.
An absolute heartbreaker as that ball was all the way down and back out it felt. J.D. Walker had the look. You won a loose ball there. 3 seconds to go. And he comes away with the free look at the ball at the basket, but it does not fall for him. That's life. Sometimes it doesn't fall, but this game, the Warriors were given absolutely everything they could ask for from the Lions. The Lions had the lead early. It was back and forth all the way in the second half. The Lions never went away. So Holman again breaks the heart of the Lions. He did this earlier in the season, and he does it once again. The Nelson Warriors are the West Regional Champions in the NCCAA, and they will go to look out Point Missouri to represent this region. And I guess it's wait and see time for the Lions.
There's a chance still the Lions join them on an invite, but we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I honestly, Matt, thought that game was over when the ball got loose over here, and I was pleasantly surprised to see it come back to JD. But then JD, did everything he could, wide open. Like you said, I think that ball, I don't know, that ball didn't want to go in. It just came right back out after dropping in. And what a heartbreaker for the Lions, but what a fantastic season if this is the end of it. Year 5 for the program, and we have another banner. We talked about that. We have a conference championship banner.
You saw the emotion as they shook hands, Brown in tears, Demolic in tears. Like, these guys wanted that so bad. They wanted it so bad. And it was right there. It was right there. And
I think it's like you said, the unfinished business aspect of it.
Right.
Nelson took the title from you last year in the national tournament. You wanted to see something come back from it, but just to highlight a couple of big nights for Demolic. It's 24 points. Ray King was 20. Demolic also adding 10 boards. So double-double there for Demolic. But Taryn Ross came on in the second half, 17 and 10, and no double-double. Valid scoring for 3 players on their side, 23 for McKay, 17 for Ross, 16 for Winley.
So Holman had 7 points, but he could have just had those final 2 and he'd be our player of the game.
And he did what he was supposed to do as a point guard. He had 7 assists for the game and 3 steals. So,
And a block, I think, thrown in the mix. They play hard. This is a tough team. You see why they're the defending NCCAA champions. There's a reason for that. I just hope beyond hope we get a rematch in the finals of the NCCAA tournament. We'll have to wait and see.
Got to see if that invite comes first, one day at a time here. But what a game. Matt, if this was it, what a great basketball season. And thank you all at home for watching. Our next broadcast should be Friday for the home for beach volleyball. So check that out and check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Look up the Next Play podcast, Prop G and Sadley. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. But for Matt Shively, I'm Prof G, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.